So part 2 of our lockdown project MX5. Today we're going to give the car a good detail. So we've been up early this morning and given it a thorough wash, and we'll roll the time-lapse video of the wash here. Okay, so we started off by giving the car a soak with truck wash on the roof, inside the bonnet and the wheel arches. Soak that overnight. Then the first step we did was cleaning the wheels. You can see here we did the wheelie clean and a scrub, then the pressure wash off. We also degreased the engine bay and pressure washed that down just to give it a bit of a clean. Finishing off the wheels. Do we think the wheels were dirty much? Have a go at the colour of that water, eh? So the next step was a snow job over the whole car, which is a pre-wash to penetrate all of that filth and grime. Then we gave that a pressure wash off over the whole car before starting on our bucket wash. Now you can see we did a 2-bucket wash, one with the clean water, one for the dirty sponges to be rinsed out on before we put them into the fresh bucket again. Gave that all a wash off, bit of bug removal on the windscreen and the front of the car, and we also just did another clean on the roof with the orange agent. Gurneyed the whole thing off again, and then onto the drying towels. Dry the whole thing off, ready to get on to the next stage. Okay, so you might have noticed we were doing a 2-bucket wash where we were using this red bucket to rinse our cloths before we put them in the white bucket to then wash the car. The reason for that, have a look at this colour of this water. Look at that. Okay, so that's the dirty water. So you don't want to be washing your car with that water. So that's why we rinse the cloths off in here and then put them in the clean water to wash the car. But I don't know that I've ever washed a car and had water that colour before, so it was pretty grotty. But looking a little better now. I'm just letting it dry off a bit before we get into the next stage. But it's definitely looking a lot better already. More to come. Alright, so we jacked the car up onto the axle stand so that we could remove the wheels, and Max is going to make a start on getting that plasti dip off the wheels. Once we had the car jacked up, I started with the clay barring, which is basically just removing all of the bonded contaminants from the paintwork with a lubricating spray and a clay bar. You can see here how dirty it is, and did that over the whole car. Alright, so we've just finished clay barring the car, so that's just removed all of the bonded contaminants off the paint. You can already see it is looking a lot better. Very, very dull and hazy on these top horizontal surfaces, but the verticals on the sides have actually come up pretty nicely. Lots of fine sort of scratches and stone chips and stuff you'd expect on a neglected 20-year-old car, but it's actually not looking too bad. So I think with a bit of compound and polish, that should come up all right. So about to mask up and get started on that, and we'll see how she goes. So while I was dealing with the paintwork, Max was working on the wheels. We found the WD-40 was what was recommended to actually penetrate the plasti dip, and then pressure wash off as much as possible. After doing this, we used a WD-40 soaked rag to just sort of get in and scrub the wheels as much as we could, and get all of the last remnants of the plasti dip off. So once we'd finished the clay barring, we moved on to the compound polishing to start with. I'd had a couple of goes on each panel, a couple of passes just to really penetrate the rough stuff that was on the surface and get down to the fresh paint. So 2 goes of compound polish, over the whole car. Max even had a bit of a go of polishing. Once we'd done that, we then moved on to the polishing. Alright, so we're making a start on polishing the headlights. Max is starting rubbing them back with 1500 grit. We'll see how we go.
So we started off with 1500 grit wet and dry, and we moved on to 2000 grit wet and dry. Then after we finished doing that, we moved on to polishing it.
And here we are, 2 days of hard work. We didn't quite get everything done we wanted to, but it's looking a lot better. So we've given it a thorough wash. We did a compound polish, followed by a polish and a wax. Max has taken all of the old black plastic paint off the wheels. He's fully detailed all of the interior, and it is looking like a different car. Still not perfect, obviously still got some bumps and scrapes. The bonnet and the boot, you know, are looking a little bit better, but you know, we knew that wasn't going to come up perfect. Ultimately that's going to need a respray or a wrap, but looks a lot better than it did before. Interior is looking a lot better. Got rid of the ugly blue seat covers and the dash mat, giving it a good vacuum, a clean. All of the vinyl and the leather and the fabric, everything's been cleaned up. So again, it's not perfect, but it's looking a lot better after a solid 2 days work. So stage 1 complete.